day before the flood event actually took place, all residents in St Asaph actually got a flood alert from NRW. I did go to the river and I had a look and I saw it's got 1.5 meters to go. So like 90% of the residents, we went back to bed. Unfortunately, by 7 o'clock, water had entered St Asaph at such a speed that it shocked the emergency services. By the time 7:30 came, the water was 30 inches around my house and was entering my property through the floorboards. I had 45 minutes to actually save what I could. Because I live in a bungalow, the highest point was my worktops in the kitchen. So the actual computer hard drives, the skybox, the photo albums and anything that I felt was very precious that couldn't be replaced was actually moved onto that area. I moved out at 9:30 in the morning, not knowing that I wasn't going to be back. I thought it was going to take 6 weeks because naively we did think, oh yeah, no problem, we can actually move back after a mop and bucket. Within 3 days of the insurance company coming in, they told me quite categorically, no, you're out for 6 months. At that point, I suddenly realised that we needed temporary accommodation. That's when the biggest problem started. There was 400 properties that were flooded, and because people needed accommodation, there wasn't 400 properties available in rent. So I moved, which was about 20 minutes away. I was in that accommodation for 211 days and, to put it bluntly, I hated it. It wasn't my community. There was nothing wrong with the house. The neighbours were lovely, but it wasn't my house. When people were forced out of the house, obviously they were going to take their pets with them, and with St Asaph they were all moved to the community centre. And what became apparent is that there was people, the elderly, the young, the babies who needed equipment, bottles, nappies, food for the children, medication for anyone who needed it. And a lot of this was left in their properties, so they had no access to it. So if you are going to be evacuated, make sure that you put in your bag everything that you need, from the medication to a change of clothes to even pet food. The best advice I can give is be prepared. I've got what I class as my flood box, which literally has my own personal sandbags. I've also got bath sealant, which will seal the front and back door. And I also have my 3-point list, which on my first flood alert, this is what I will do. On my second flood alert from Natural Resources Wales, this is what I'll do. And on the third one, this is what I will do. The first thing I would recommend anyone doing is you charge all your laptops, all your phones, because as soon as water enters your property, your electricity will go. Once you lose your phone, you lose your lifeline to your family, your friends, and also any emergency services. The second part of the list is protecting my property. I purchased a loft ladder, so as soon as St Asaph goes on flood alert, anything that I find very important will go up into the loft, and my personal photographs are also in the loft, which is in a sealed plastic container. Third and final one is making sure I put the sandbags out, and also making sure I have a means of escape, which would be by a window. I would refuse to open any front or back door to emergency services, because as soon as you open a door, the water will enter your property. I have 14 air bricks in my house, and those were the biggest problems. I decided to have the air bricks exchanged from normal air bricks to air bricks which were recommended from on the flood forum, which will close automatically on any water that is present. With house insurance, make sure that you're always honest. If you are near a river, make sure you say you're near a river. And if your house has been flooded, make sure you say that, because if you don't say that, your insurance will become null and void. It's no good going on to these websites that allow you to compare different sites. They don't want to know. So you don't use those sites now. You have to go on to what's called the Flood Forum. And the Flood Forum will allow you to choose insurance companies that actually specialise in properties that have been flooded. The cost to repair this property was between £60,000 and £80,000. And I couldn't afford that. And I don't think many other residents could. So get yourself insured.